in an academic convocation, one rarely speaks of miracles. But people have asked me, what do you consider the single most miraculous aspect of Germany's reunification? Then I point to the fact that two hostile German militaries were united without shedding a drop of blood. Consider this. There was the West German Bundeswehr with 370,000 men under arms, not including reserves. This was NATO's second largest military after the United States Armed Forces in Europe. Then there was East Germany's National People's Army with 173,000 men. This was the second largest military in the Warsaw Pact after the Soviet Red Army. The Bundeswehr was then, and is now, a largely defensive and democratic outfit. The National People's Army was permanently in an offensive mode. It was always 85% combat ready. And it was a political army. 96% of its commissioned and senior non-commissioned officers were Communist Party members. At reunification, all East German generals were retired. Ultimately, the National People's Army was dissolved. Only a fraction of its officers were absorbed into the all-German Bundeswehr. Astonishingly, all this took place peacefully. Dr. Michael Wechselack was an East German conscript, a grunt until October 2, 1990. Then, after midnight, he became a Bundeswehr conscript. Today, he is an award-winning economics professor at Georgia Southern University and a major of the Bundeswehr Army Reserves, German Army Reserves. He has a fabulous story to tell. Before I ask him to the stage, a couple of notes. After Dr. Wechselack's presentation, we will hear the last movement of Haydn's Emperor Quartet. And many, many, many thanks to you for wonderful musicians for your performance. Then we'll have lunch. We hope that these snippets of history you heard this morning will entice you to hear more in the afternoon session. It will be richer, it will be a little longer, your attention span is going to be strained a little, but you, please, if you can, the young ones, come and listen to these stories. These are fascinating stories. And you will also see a documentary film. So I'll see you again here at 1:30 in the afternoon at the CU Center, Dr. Wechselack.
I have been told that this is supposed to be a teaser. As a professor, I'm not usually allowed to tease my students, so I'm enjoying this opportunity. I also thank Dr. Simon Netter for making me the last speaker before lunch. If I have heard or learned anything during my military time, is that you never stand between your man and women and you have to serve lunch, so I will keep it short. I promise. Next slide, please. So to keep this short, I thought we should have a unified theory of reunification and a calculus of change, and that would convince all of you to come back this afternoon to listen to my real. Obviously, it's a joke. So I thought I would just overload your mind. What happened to me 20 years ago? I overload your mind with lots of pictures, so you feel you have to come back. So you learn the real story and what is being told by these pictures. Well, one thing I want to mention this morning is, if you could imagine for a second to be 18 years old and a conscript in a communist army. Actually, let's ask who doesn't have to mention about being a soldier. Any veterans here? Has anybody served in the armed forces? Anybody? A few people? This is a celebration of freedom. Why don't we thank all of them for serving? taken off one uniform. I woke up the next morning wearing the uniform of the supposed enemy. How do you think that felt? Felt scratchy, actually. Uniform. But I can tell you that among all the excitement that we young people lived during that time, there was also wonder. What is going to happen? How is this supposed to work? What are we supposed to do next? We had just spent a month being trained by soldiers who had grown up in a communist system, who didn't really see us as human beings. Some of them really wanted to go all out one more time. I ask you, suppose, especially the young people, freshmen, suppose somebody tells you to put on a gas mask that had been stored with some chemical that makes your face burn. And you know that person, in a couple of weeks, will have no command authority over you anymore. What would you do? Would you rebel? Would you go along? Well, those stories and many more I'm going to tell this afternoon.
I'm Dr. Peter Senkbeil, Concordia's Associate Provost, and again, mindful of Dr. Rexelot's admonition not to stand between you and lunch. For those of you who are conference attendees, I'm telling you how to get to lunch. Because of the inclement weather today, we've moved our meal to the 3rd floor of Grimm Hall, the north building. That is the building up the hill with the glass lobby. So please head on up there. As you make your way there, you'll be passing through part of the Vendor Museum exhibit, and then please proceed to the 3rd floor. If you registered for the conference or purchased a red lunch ticket, please make sure that you have that red ticket with you, and we will be serving lunch on the 3rd floor of Grimm Hall. Thank you very much. Conference sessions resume at 1:30 p.m.
And so now,
in the square. I was at the Crossing Connor pub. Okay. Right. So it was on a Saturday, so I sat down and I had my phone with me, and I was at the.
Oh my!
We're on camera.
Looks like you're getting 2 times. You got 2 powers. Yeah, I'm not here, but yeah, they offered me a seat. What you're trying to do is not necessarily well, we got that would be helpful. Things are moving forward. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was all right then. So that's really nice.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Steinhauer, and it's been a pleasure to attend German Day at Concordia University, Irvine, to hear all the wonderful speakers who have been a part of German history and to share their experiences and wealth of knowledge with us. And I represent the middle generation of participants. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. We've enjoyed this day, and the programs are wonderful, and we've been learning a great deal about Germany.
Thank you for everyone. I hope you're watching. This is a wonderful German presentation. Wish you could all come here. And thank you so much.
Some of us can go behind.
Today is German Unity Day, and I'm very happy about it. And when I sing Nun danket alle Gott, I think of the Germans who were singing the song when the wall came down. Nun danket alle Gott mit Herzen, Mund und Händen.
Which is a museum and archive of the Cold War, and we specialize in the research of the Cold War in Eastern Europe specifically. And one of our most important missions is to look at the consequences of life behind the Iron Curtain. So the Berlin Wall, East Germany, for instance, until the fall of the wall in 1989.